Hello everyone, happy Wednesday. This is Lynn from Divine Central. This is going to be my first week of doing mailbag readings for people who send me questions. I would obviously I have a new channel and my following is quite small yet, but as it grows, I'd like to do maybe pull 2 or 3 every Wednesday and do those readings for you. Right now, I just have the one, and so that's what I'm going to give you today. So it's from a gentleman. I will not share names or locations, but he's 29. He's been in the banking industry, doing all kinds of different jobs, and also in the recruiting industry. It looks like for at least 10 years. He's an entrepreneur. He's started, and had various levels of success with entrepreneurship. God, he just gave me his whole background, his whole everything. But his dilemma is, he says, that he cannot conceptualize what it would look like for him to go out beyond his current job and work remotely. Now, he's being called back into work. Everybody left because of COVID, and now he's being called back in, and he likes likes working remotely and would like to stay doing that, and isn't quite sure what he sees. Of all the things that he can do, he just can't. He said he can't conceptualize what that would be and what that would look like for him. So I'm going to pull a few cards for him. He does say that his biggest dilemma is, it's just what role should it be, and he doesn't want to stay in the same industry if he can help it. So all right, so I'm going to be using, first place, I want to share with you a deck I'm going to use. It is called the Business Class Tarot. And this is an indie deck. It can only be, I have only been able to find it on, can you see it okay? There you go. I've only been able to get this deck on Etsy. And I'm telling you, I was so excited when I saw it because I do love, I do love career readings, and I'm kind of a corporate type, so that makes it fun. Okay, so it's a beautiful deck, linen. It's really slick. I've already shuffled it because, frankly, I didn't want you to see me playing 52 card or 78 card pickup. So let me switch cameras, okay, and let's see if we can't pull some cards for this gentleman and see where he needs to be. All right, so this is a data manager, 3 of product. This is 4 of the major arcana, or CEO. We have the 7 of money, and we have marketing. I'm going to save the bottom card of the deck for last. We'll see what comes out of that. All right, for those of you who are tarot aficionados, let me share with you that the data card is the data is swords. This would be the Knight of Swords. The 3 of product would be the 3 of wands. The 4, or the CEO card, would be the Emperor. The 7 of money would be the 7 of pentacles. That's an easy right and correlation. And then marketing, this is a 3 of a major arcana. That would be the Empress. So I'm going to cover the subject, the foundation, what will help him, what will hinder him, and any advice that Spirit has to give on the subject. Okay, so let's start with the data manager, all right? And I'm not going to use those terms again for tarot. I'm just going to go with what I got here. So the data manager, this is somebody who is just rip-roaring, ready to go. He's ready to, we know, we can sense and feel that he just wants to get out there and he wants to find out what's different. What I didn't say is that his lease is up in June, and he's so afraid that he's not going to be able to get out there and experience what's out there and have a chance to choose or be chosen for something, for the next greatest thing in his career path, in time for that to happen. And so right now, it's like he would stay where he is right now if he could, but it may not be an option if he wants to work remotely. So here he is. He's on the deck. He's on deck. He's ready to go. He's ready to sail out there and see what's for him. He has all these ideas and thoughts. You see them all stacked up around him, and he's just ready to shoot them off like a cannon. That's the thing about the Knight of Swords. They tend to shoot from the hip. He doesn't have, he said he can't conceptualize what it would look like for him to be out there, what kind of job he would be shooting for, but yet he's out there shooting. And that's kind of that jumping in with both feet first before you have a real plan in action. So that's kind of our subject line matter for the day. Now, the foundation of that, well, camera's up here. We have the Three of Product, or the Three of Wands. Now, I'm a numerology person, right? So, the aces, that's the idea or the ideas that you have. Then step 2 is the planning process, being at that crossroad, figuring out what direction you're going to take. And then 3s are about expansion. It's about that jump off point. And it seems like if you look at this, it's like he's going right from the ideas. He's going right from the ideas to the jump off point before he actually has any type of plan in action. And if you want to expand, if you want to put yourself out there and see what comes back to you, that's all fine and good. But, from what point are you jumping off? I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a plan. So, you can do this in the shower. You can do this, from the highest building, you can shout. That doesn't mean someone's going to hear you. So you really do need to, the foundation of this whole thing is what is his priorities? This is about looking at the big picture and trying to figure out what you want. So maybe the advice to him would be to, let's take the big picture and just work backward. What do you need working backward to find your starting point? All right, so the foundation is that. That's going to be the big picture, not the jump off point. What can help this individual? Well, this would be the CEO. This would be an emperor. This would be somebody who is quite knowledgeable, master of what they do, a master of logic, somebody that can help just about anybody do whatever it is they need to do. I mean, this is the guy that can take care of it. This is the guy that can put you in touch with the right people. But I think in this particular case, what this gentleman needs is a CEO, somebody who is very knowledgeable in business, that can sit down with him, look at the resume, look at where he's come so far, help him figure out where he needs to go from here, and then help put him on that path. It doesn't have to be the CEO where he is. It doesn't have to be a CEO in any of the industries that he's familiar with. It doesn't even have to be a CEO from an industry that he's interested in. It could just be the owner of a very successful restaurant, so, an owner who's very smart in business, that has a good eye for for talent and for what you need to do and in what order in order to become successful. It could just be somebody in his life he probably already knows that he could turn to say, hey, help me figure this out. All right, that's what's going to help. What's going to harm? What he's going to do to sabotage himself? 7 of money. This is a 7 of Pentacles. He has his fingers in too many pots. I think that's the problem. He has a lot of angles. He kind of knows where he wants to go, but yet he doesn't. So he's planting these seeds. He's taking these ideas, tilling the soil, planting the seed, watering them, and then he's got all these things there, and when they don't come to fruition right away, or they don't conceptualize right away, he starts it all over again with a different idea in a different pot, tending the soil, planting the seed, watering the plant, and then he's waiting. So he's putting a lot of time and effort. And he's not seeing any of it come to fruition yet. But I don't think the problem is conceptualization. I think it's compartmentalization is what I think it is. You need to prioritize, my friend. You need to, figure out, you need to put these pots in some kind of priority. You got to figure out what you're going to do. What of these pots, what of his ideas that he's interested in, which ones are trending right now? Which ones would work well with our economy and with the direction that, he wants to go? So again, it comes down to not being organized. And it's kind of hard to conceptualize anything when you're not organized. So the advice is going to be akin to the Empress. The Empress is our Mother Earth. This is about creating what you want. And that's kind of the answer, is you have to create it. You can't you're at a jump off point. You haven't created enough yet to be able to actually conceptualize it. So I think that the key here is going to be trying to prioritize your situation and get some meat underneath some of your ideas so that you have something concrete to go on, and so you're not constantly jumping from one thing to another. Now, if we set aside all the references to tarot and we just take a look at what this gentleman's done with these cards, do you see the product and the data manager? Because he was kind of in data management and banking. We have a CEO, and we have marketing. And honestly, you know what I see here? I see that he wants to be he wants to be an entrepreneur. He's tried several times. So I think what he needs to do is he needs to find that one product in the data industry, because he knows data. So find that one product that he can market as the CEO of his own company. And I think that's what will bring him money. Now, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck, okay? So let's flip this over. What do we have? We have due diligence. You think that falls right in here? In this card, all the people are heading down the street in the same direction. Do you see that? They're all just going along, except for the one guy in the middle. He has decided to turn around, and he picked up his shadow. And this is somebody who is going to mold what he looks like in the future. He's just not going to let it follow him around. He's going to actually pick it up and run with it in a different direction. And I think that that's kind of the answer here, is not enough due diligence on his plans yet. So it's not time to jump off, and there is time. And don't, the fact that he's put a deadline on himself is, it's just going to add stress and more problems. So what if your lease is up? So you either re-sign the lease or you go someplace else. But I think that it's you have to look at it like, well, what's the worst thing that can happen if I don't get a new job by June? Well, then I guess maybe it's going to be December. So you have to make do, but you can't do it until you prioritize. So that is my that's my advice today. It's kind of an interesting deck, isn't it? I just love that. It's great for career readings, and I'll probably use it again soon. Anyway, again, if you would like me to do a little bit of reading for you right here on a Wednesday, just get a hold of me privately at the email address or leave a comment, and please leave a comment anyway, because I'd love to know what you think about it. And don't forget to subscribe and sign up. Thanks. We'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.